Welcome to Fallout 76. This is Jim. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Player's Vending Machine Guide. Now, this video is for new players to the game. If you played this game for several months to several years, then you're probably already going to know what I'm about to tell you. However, if you do have some positive insight, by all means, place it in the comments or if I missed anything. Now, again, we're only talking about players' vending machines. We're not talking about vendings or vendors, special vendors, unique vendors, secret vendors. We're not talking about those ones, only the player vending machines. As I was asked a question a couple of days ago for making a vending machine video on the newest one we just got in the shop. And I could just tell that they are new to the game and a little bit of frustrated. So I thought, you know what, if one person's asking about how vending machines work, maybe other people are asking the same thing. So I thought I'd put this video out, as they stated they couldn't find anything out there in regards to how vending machines work. Okay, we're also going to talk about how to power vending machines, because not all vending machines get the same kind of power. Okay, so we're going to talk about that there as well. All right, so we have this basic vending machine out. So let's say brand spanking new out of the vault. You go around, you collect a bunch of stuff, and you don't have a whole lot of caps on you. Okay, but you can build a simple little camp, maybe a couple of floors, a stash box, a couple of workbenches, etc. So you start selling things, okay? And that's how it usually starts out. You start selling things to get some caps for yourself, all right? And then when you go to your build menu here, you go under your vendor section. The very first vendor, the default vendor, is this one right here, the one right in front of us, okay? So 3 steel and 5 wood to craft. Now, most vendors do require 3 power to run. There are some vendors that only require just a tiny bit of power, like these guys here, just a tiny little bit. But most vending machines do require at least 3 power, which means at least a small generator to run. Okay. But saying that, as you can see, this is the only vendor I have right now in my camp, this guy right here. And as you can see, the screen is not on and such. Okay. However, if we go to our map screen, we can see V for vendor right there above my camp. Okay, so that means, and that indicates other players are looking at their map, they're looking at my camp for vendors, and they're saying, oh, they got a vendor right there. So as you can see, even though this guy's not getting any power at all, okay, he still shows up on the map under our camp, indicating that my camp has a vendor available. Okay, now watch what happens when we remove this guy. We're going to take him right off the map there, just like that. All right, so now I have no vendors in my camp whatsoever. Let's go back to the map screen. As you can see, the V for vendor is gone. Okay, now this is also useful. Okay, let's say you're at max cap. So max caps here in the game is 40,000. And let's say people are buying, and as soon as you get over that 40,000, the game tells you you're at max caps. And if people just keep buying and buying and buying, which happens to me quite often, you guys can see on my daily weekly challenge videos, that's caps wasted. You'll never get those caps. It's 40,000 max, and that's it. It's something they hope that they Bethesda kind of increases for people, because 40,000, once you get at a certain higher level, 40,000 is not enough. As funny as it sounds for new players, okay, but eventually you'll get there, okay. But anywho, basically, as you can see, that's how people can get away from that, by taking their vendor out, okay. So they have no vendors available to purchase from, because they're maybe at max caps, all right. So let's go back here. We're going to put our vendor right back here. And we're going to put that basic one back in here. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. We're going to go and sell. Now, we can sell a wide variety of things. You can see the top of the screen, all right? So weapons, armor, apparel, food and drink, aid, miscellaneous, hollow, tapes, notes, junk, mods, and ammo, okay? And it varies, okay? Now, saying that, there's only a couple of things that we cannot sell here in the game. Anything involving the atomic shop, anything that's Fallout First, okay? So we're talking about clothing or outfits or headwear from the atomic shop or Fallout First, we cannot sell in the vendor. And the same exact thing for paints and skins for armor, power armor, and weapons. With that skin on, we cannot sell it in our vendor. You have to take that skin off, go default paint, then you can sell it in the vendor. Okay, so FYI on that. So let's take a look at that here. Let's take a look at my inventory under item. So I made a couple of apparel items here. So as you can see, I have the Blue Ridge Trucker cap, a couple outfits here, a couple masks. But as you can see, every item, whether it's in your stash box whether it's in your vendor, what have you, it'll tell you if it's from the atomic shop or followed first. And you can see the little atomic shop symbol. So the Blue Ridge Trucker Cap, Camp Counselor outfit, okay, and other items that has that little symbol, I cannot sell in my vendor, okay? And just like this Fast Snatler mask and outfits, has the Fallout First symbol, I cannot sell these in the vendor. So I have these on me, but I also have some items that doesn't have those symbols, like this Blue Ridge Scout hat, helmet, I should say, Insurgent outfit. So they don't have either symbol on them. Let's go back to my vendor. We're going to go sell. Let's go under apparel here, and they're the only ones that pop up under my apparel on the left-hand side, okay? So it doesn't even give you the option to even try to sell them, right? So just an FYI, sometimes we will get items from certain events, certain quests, and that's how you know if you're able to drop them or sell them in your vendor if they have the atomic shop symbol or the Fallout First symbol. You will not be able to sell them. All right, FYI. So that is probably one of the biggest questions that I'm asked here in the game, not just by newer players, but all players around, kind of deal. All right, now same thing with weapons. All right, let's go back to our Pip-Boy here. We're going to go under our weapons here. Now I have this Tesla rifle here, but it has a presidential paint on it, and that presidential paint is only found in the atomic shop. Okay, now it's so long you can't really see the symbol on it, okay? But it is from the atomic shop. So as we go back to our vending machine, try to sell that Tesla rifle under weapons, it doesn't even show up on the left-hand side. Under my side, it doesn't even show up, all right? So I can't even sell it if I tried, all right? If I wanted to sell it, I had to take that paint off. So let's go to a weapons workbench here. Modify/repair. We're going to go to that Tesla rifle, okay? And we're going to go to default paint. Default paint right there. Okay. Back out. So now it's default paint. Still has those legendary effects on it, just a different type of paint. Let's go back to our vendor. Sell. Go back under weapons. So there we go. So now I can sell that Tesla rifle because it doesn't have that atomic shop paint on it. All right. And that goes the same thing for armor and weapons. Just make sure you take that paint off or skin off, do it the default, and then you'll be able to sell it that way. All right, so that's probably one of the biggest things that I'm asked about here in the game. But in terms of selling items, okay, that person who is asking, everything else you can sell. All right, plans, recipes, everything else, as long as it has nothing to do with the atomic shop or Fallout First items, you are good to go. All right, we're good to go. Now, we're going to go get to the next section here. In terms of your vendors, okay, so players, vendors share common inventory. Okay, the maximum amount of vendors you can have per camp is 4. Okay, you cannot build any more vendors. So let's go ahead and build a couple vendors here. Let's build the newest one that we got, which is the reason that which kind of sparked this particular video, this auto vend here. Okay. And we'll craft a couple of these little cash registers here. And as you can see on the right-hand side, it says the vending machine plus is built 344. So now we're going to add this 4th one in. So 444. And I'm going to try to build one in. See there exceeds maximum build count there at the bottom in the red. Okay. So you can only build 4 vendors per camp. And they all share the same inventory, which is, let's take a look at that. On the right-hand side, at the top, 120. So 120 is your max. Now, saying that, you can sell multiples and it counts as 1, all right? So let's take a look at this one here, for example. Basketball hoop 2. Now, I'm selling 4 of them, okay? But that only counts as 1 because it's a stack. It's a stack, okay? Some things we can stack, other things we cannot, okay? Weapons, armor, for example, we cannot stack, okay? But items like this, items like ammo, lots of other items like aid, we can stack, but it only counts as 1 in the atomic shop for the slots that are used, okay? So FYI there. So let's take out all of those basketball hoop 2 times 4. Let's take them all out here, all 4 of them, okay? So you see how it went down from 118 to 117, okay? So that stack only counts as 1. And then all I do is I put that back in there, and it'll go back up to 118. You know what I mean? Okay. But again, not all things stack. Weapons, armor, for example, do not stack. A lot of other things do, like aid and plans and recipes, ammo, etc., etc. All right. Now, the things you put in your vendor is also limited by your stash weight. Okay. So if we take a look at our typical stash box here, and of course it's getting dark out because that's the way the game goes for your old pal Jim here. So my stash box at the bottom there, you see 1200. So 1200 is the max weight for your stash box. Okay. So what's included in your stash box? We have coolers, we have freezers, we have vending machines, etc., etc. That all contributes to your stash weight. Okay. Now every item, as you can see, item stats in the middle, they'll have a weight for that item. They'll have a stack weight and a weight in the stash. Okay. So sometimes that will change. It's not the same for every item because obviously weapons and armor will weigh differently. Some weapons, if you have a legendary effect which reduces the weight of it, that will also count as well. But if we take a look at my weapons section here, we take a look at weight in the stash, right? And the item stats there in the middle, okay? Like this laser rifle, 7.58. This one here is 12.75. But you can see its weight, it's a lot lighter. But in the stash weight, it's a lot heavier. Like this guy here, look, 27.9. This thing is in my stash weight. But this weight, if I had it on me, is 2.79, okay? I know. That's a whole different conversation there. Not with me, but with a company there. But that's just the way it goes. Okay. So FYI, you always have to keep an eye on your stash weight and what you're selling in your vendor, because even though, let's say we go back here, even though you have less than 120 slots, let's say you're stuck on 117. Hey, I can sell 3 more items here or 3 more stacks of something. But let's say your stash weight is 1200. You will not be able to put anything more in your vendor because now you're limited by your stash limit. Okay. So that's another thing you have to keep an eye out for is your stash limit, 1200 max. Okay. That one, your old pal Jim runs into all the time. Yeah. Old nemesis there. Right on. All right. So that's talked about that. So some other great things to talk about. Players cannot sell items to other players' vendors. So if you go to other players' camps and their vendors, you can't sell anything to their vendor because that is their personal vendor. Just like how you can't steal out of it. Okay. Caps from sales are automatically transferred with a 10% reduction. So you do not get 100% of the sale. You always get 90% all the time. Okay. That 10%, that just goes off in Bethesda bank account. I don't know. I just kind of said that. I'm not too sure where it goes, but you only get 90% of that 100% for the sale. Okay. And it actually says that if we go to our build menu here, and if we go into our vending machines, you can see they're right on the right hand side. Sell items from your stash, you'll receive 90% of the sale price. Your camp will appear on the map as a vendor, etc., etc. All right. So just an FYI there as well. Any caps earned from the sale over a maximum of 40,000 will be lost. So if you have 40,000 caps and you reach that limit and people just keep buying, you'll never see those caps ever again. And that's why you'll see people, if you're buying and they disappear just like that, that's what's going on, because they see people are buying at their camp and they reach their max. They just remove the camp just like that. And I think that's what's most of the reason when you're at a person's camp, that's what happens. It's not so much they're being, a certain way. It's just that they met their max caps, okay? And items may be listed anywhere from 0 to 40,000 caps, because I have seen players sell things for 0 caps, okay? It doesn't count for daily, weekly challenges, of course, because it's got to be at least 1 cap, but you can sell things for 0 caps, okay? It is possible. I have definitely seen it there. All right. Now that we beat that one to death, let's talk about powers, okay? So as you can see, you have a couple different vending machines here. Some require a wired hookup, like the ones with these little antennas on them, and some work like a light, right? So you see this little lamp here? This vending machine will act just like this light, okay? You don't put a wire connection to it. It just has to be near a generator with available power, and that's it, okay? So let's take a look at that real quick. So let's go to our generator section in our build menu. before it gets too dark here. It's funny how that works with your old pal Jim. All right, we're going to put a large generator right here. Just like that. And look at that. This light and that came on. Okay? However, these guys did not come on. They're still dark. Okay? These guys didn't make any sound. Okay? Because these guys require a wired hookup. Okay? So that's now let's now once when you build your generator, you see the bottom attached wire. So we're just going to attach a wire. This guy. There we go. Okay? So this generator with that little antenna requires a wired hookup, as compared to this vendor, which does not require a wire hookup, just has to be in the vicinity of a generator. Right? So you see how that works? Okay? So let's go ahead. We're going to get rid of this guy. If it's going to turn dark. Okay? But even though, again, as we mentioned at the beginning, even though everything's dark, we still have V for vendor on the map. Okay? So now, we are nowhere near a generator. Our closest generator is way over here. Okay? Now, to get power over there, now it works the same thing for the Senomatic, the cement truck, stuff like that. Same exact thing. Okay? Let's put a couple of power connectors here. We're going to use these old-fashioned type here. There we go. So now we're going to attach a wire to this guy, and we're going to try to look that way. You're going to see what lights up. Okay? Nothing yet. So let's bring the power a little bit closer here now, because every generator has a range of power. If those items, such as that new vending machine and that lamp, are too far away from the generator, they're not going to get power. And of course, that require a wired hookup, they're not going to get power until they're wired up, basically. All right. So now let's put the power to this guy. I think this is going. You're going to see the light and all that turn on. There we go. Okay. So now we have enough power. Okay, from that generator. Now we're reaching over here. Okay. So now we have power to this new type of generator, which does not require a wired hookup, and this lamp. Okay, because they work the same exact way. Okay. So now let's put some wired hookup here to this guy. Okay. Now we're going to power up these type of vendors because they require a wired hookup. Let's bring it down to this guy. We're going to see this guy move. There we go. He's got power. Put to this guy. Watch this guy move. He's got power. Let's put it to the old style vending machine. He's got power. Okay. So that's how that works. These guys require wired hookup. These guys act like a lamp or a light, or most lights here in the game. Okay. Now this type of light here, he has an antenna on him. He requires a wired hookup. Let's bring some power to this guy. Whoop, Jim. Whoop, simmer down, buddy. There we go. Okay. But you must have enough power available. If your generator is already taxed, let's say your generator is over on the other side of your camp, like mine, and you have all these lights and all these things going to it, it might not have enough power to run those other things. Okay, so you might have to build another generator, etc. Because when you build your generator, right, so here's a small one, as you can see, produces 3 power, that's it. If you make enough things that require more than 3 power altogether, it's not going to run a couple of those things. All right, and then we have the medium one, 5 power. There's the large one here, 10 power, and of course fusion core is 100 power, and I think there's one more here, this super reactor, 100 power. Okay, interesting. All right. But yeah, so that's how we kind of power them up, just like that. All right. But that pretty much sums it up. I kind of went through quite a bit of stuff there. The whole video will be time-stamped, again, for the newer folk. But if I did miss anything, by all means, place it in the comments. Again, if you have any more questions, I'll try my best to answer them. But I thought about it there. This is probably the best way that I can think of to make this video, to kind of make it, you know, more or less understandable. Okay. Again, if you're trying to sell something in your vendor, anything goes. However, it can't be involved with the atomic shop or Fallout First item, including paints and skins, etc. Okay, and I showed you how to kind of resolve that issue. If you have a weapon or armor or power armor, it'd be the same kind of deal. You just take that paint or skin off, go default paint, etc., and do it that way, because we can get paints for all those type of items here now. All right, and most things we get from events, okay, we don't usually see them as atomic shop or Fallout First, okay, because you're not really paying them with atoms or gold bullion or special Fallout First memberships, okay. So most of those items we can just sell right in our vendor. All right, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So there you guys go. I hope that is helpful. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share when you have the chance. It really helps me out. I'd like to thank my channel members, Artistically Arranged, Michael Edwards, Nigel Wiffen, Heather, Whitetribe, Mr. Shelton, Drake Stamps, NotMeButMeYesMeThatsMe, Drew Andrew, Confoundedbridge, Wave Warner, John DJ59, Picaresque, Grand Tritno, Tony Watson, Felix the Cat, Dan Farah, Benny Bunny, AJ Foltz. Thank you all so very much, and I hope you all have a nice day.